Hello, and welcome to this edition of the Angels and Destiny show. Why is this show called this, you may ask? So I'll tell you. The accepted meaning of angel is messenger, and the accepted meaning of destiny is to make firm establish. So my guests and I bring you messages to establish what you need to know in the present. And also, I like working with angels and the calmness they bring. Now, in a moment, I will introduce you to my wonderful guest, Angela Roth. But before that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching the show live or at a later date, as it means a lot to me to connect with like minded women. Now, if you've never met me before, then my name is Ray, and I'm a guide who helps you to remember your divine presence so that you can heal your past, create your future, and transform your present to take charge of your destiny, spread your wings, and soar. I'm the founder of Radiant Angel Energy, and I use angelic Reiki, future life progression, past life regression, guided meditation, angel oracle cards to assist you if you feel lost or confused, so you can get clear on your reason for being here. And I also offer several transformational packages, a journey through lifetimes, a 6-week guided meditation series to help you gain confidence, take charge of your destiny, and various workshops and courses. Now, each episode of this show covers various themes for your journey, a mini guided meditation or angel oracle card reading, with the wisdom of my wonderful guests, like today's guest, Angela Roth, who'll be chatting with me about how we can recognize angels when they show up. Now, Angela is the CEO of Succeed from the Start and Creating Colour, two very different businesses in some ways, but they meet in the middle because they're all about unlocking the creativity we hold within. Now, life has so many challenges to Angela, challenges which have threatened to break her, but somehow, somewhere, the strength to move forward has appeared, sometimes in the most unlikely ways. Now, Angela never plans what she will say. She just waits to see what comes and trusts the right people will hear it. And she's really looking forward to chatting to you all today. Now, with testimonials such as genuine, committed, caring, and wise, Angela Roth has touched and inspired many people in her work. And I would recommend her with much enthusiasm. I also highly recommend Angela Roth. Her calming nature and compassion is comforting. The initiative approach she shares is successful, and the passion for her work really shines through. She really makes a difference. So, without further delay, hello, Angela, and welcome to the Angel Destiny Show. How are you today?
I'm well, thank you, and delighted to be here, Ray.
Brilliant. So, before we get into this fascinating conversation, I want to remind you that not only can you share this video, but you can also ask questions, leave comments, and thoughts, as both Angela and I want to be part of this conversation. So, please don't be shy. So, Angela, why don't you tell us more about your journey and how we can recognize angels when they show up?
So I think it's an interesting one when you talk about angels because people have got such a different kind of view, haven't they? I mean, the kind of memory of nativity plays at when you're children, and that somebody's got tinsel around their head and somebody else's tinsel isn't quite so good. And I remember being in a nativity play with my mum and dressed us up like we should, but then this one girl turned up with these huge, massive, wings. I remember being really envious of this girl as if it made a difference. And I think you can grow up with this kind of image of angels being fairies. And that's certainly what I sort of thought to when I was little. But gradually through my own journey, I began to discover that that belief that had been sown in my mind that I have an angel watching over me has actually shown up more times than once. And it's sort of shown up in unusual ways, so that I began to realize that I could look for angelic help without even knowing that I was doing that. But I mean, it was just fascinating. The first time that I really realized that angels are real and they're not just sort of a figment of somebody's imagination or just a fairy tale story was when our two eldest children were very, very tiny. They were only 12 months apart. And so that was quite hard work. And we were going on a long car journey. And they were both very tired and they weren't going to sleep. Like you think you set off on the journey and they're
Yeah.
going to fall asleep. You're going to go in the evening, they're going to fall asleep. No, they did not want to fall asleep. And so one was 6 months old, one was 18 months old, and they were definitely not happy. And the car broke down in the middle of the A1. And it was like, ah, what do we do now? Because we then realised we hadn't renewed our insurance, that you do like for the car. So what do? You're sort of stuck at the side of the road, completely died. Neither of us knew what to do with it. And then this really old rickety van drove up behind us, jumped out, and said, "I've just come to help you. I've got some jump leads. I think you need jump leads. Just open your bonnet." I mean, we've never met this guy from Adam. I have no idea who he was. How did he know? We could have just been stopped for the child to go to the
Yeah.
toilet. But he just got the car started again, and we followed him out onto the road, and he was gone. And there was no turn off the road at all in any way. That's 25 miles. There was nowhere he could have gone. And so I remember later on in the night thinking to myself, that's weird. That's weird. You can't just, and it was such an obvious old van as well. It wasn't like it was your, average everyday,
Yeah.
car that I could have got mixed up or lost him. There was no way I could have lost him. And so that began to make me think angels are for me that that moment in life when something happens that you don't expect, you're not looking for, that enables or changes or helps your heart to move as well. And in that moment, it was a really practical help that meant we got to where we were going with the children settled, and our journey was peaceful and joyful because we were so grateful. And it's just, for many people, that might seem like a really trivial thing, but our lives are not trivial. We're cared for and loved with a passion, and every little bit about us matters. None of us are more important or less important than anybody else, and we should never feel that we're not deserving or that we can't find help or guidance because there's always going to be somebody there. And I think it spoke to me because I was called Angela because basically when I come from a family of 8, there are 2 boys and 6 girls, and I was number 6. And when I was born, apparently for the first 3 days I didn't cry. And I just like was the perfect little baby, did exactly what mum needed me to do until she named me. But they called me Angela because they thought, oh, she's a little angel, she's not crying, she's doing exactly what she's supposed to do. So they called me Angela. And then I started to show my true feelings. So she sort of, I think, okay, fair enough. But I think she used to tell me that story growing up, and it sort of resonated with me. And the first time that it really sunk in was I was at church. I was 5 years old, and it was my turn to read. It must have been just a few verses. It couldn't have been very long, but Mum always had this thing where we had to, if we were going to do something at school or somewhere, we had to go and stand at the top of the stairs. And if she could hear us in the kitchen, she would say to us, "Now that's okay because the deaf old ladies at the back will be able to hear you now." And I remember thinking to myself, well, why are they sitting at the back if they're deaf, for one thing? I don't understand that. But anyway, this is what we did. So I was sort of went into the service and got a favourite red dress on that I absolutely loved. And I sort of went up to the front there and stood. And I looked at all these people. And I just kind of like forgot what I was there for. I just smiled. I just sort of looked around, smiling at everybody. And one by one, they began to smile back. And afterwards, I mean, Mum then waving at me saying, "You're supposed to be reading not supposed to be standing there smiling." So, but afterwards, I sort of standing by Mum. The thing that struck me was that each person came up to Mum to say what they had appreciated was that they thought I was smiling at them. They thought I was personally choosing them and giving them a gift. And it really stuck in my mind, and it made me believe that there was a calling to touch people in this world with love, and that was a calling on me, and that's what I needed to do. So moving forward, though, that I went into high school believing that was, um, part and parcel of my journey, and it had been so at primary school, but I walked into senior school and met with a whole completely different ballgame. I was in a school, I didn't know anybody, no friends had come to that school with me, and I was a little bit overweight, not huge or anything, but I didn't fit. My face
Yeah.
didn't fit. And so the bullies decided that I was a good target. And I didn't feel like I would tell my mum because they'd, well, I just, what bullies do anyway.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, stupid, because looking back, my mum would have been down there, of course. And so for some time then, I felt very lonely, very scared, didn't know what to do about it, didn't know who to talk to about it. But when I was away from there, I still had this overwhelming kind of reassurance that it would be okay, but I just didn't know how. So just to sort of cling on and hope. And gradually things did change. Now, could I have done with an angel turning up for me at that point and dealing with these girls? Yeah, I think I could. But everything happens for a reason. And the one thing it taught me so much was that, life does treat us badly at times. There are people out there whose whole motivation is to make themselves feel good. And they do it by causing pain to people because it makes them feel better. But the understanding as I grew on was that they were doing that because of the pain in their lives, which I had no control over. I couldn't reach into their past and heal their pain, not physically, but I could forgive them and I could offer them a gift of forgiveness and I could choose by forgiving them to not allow it to affect me going forward. And I could be there for other people who've been through that story themselves. And that has repeated itself. And there's been events in my life where at the time, I've thought, why is this happening? I don't understand what's going on here. Losing my brother was one of those. He was my hero. I wholly believed he was going to be healed from brain cancer. I did not for a minute think that he would die, but he did. And I didn't know what to do. I was lost. I was hurt. I was lonely. He had protected me in so many ways. But then gradually, people would start telling me things. And they would say, I've no idea why I'm telling you this. They don't even know me, and they would start telling me things. And it would be, well, I know because I know exactly, what you're experiencing. I've been there, and if all I can do is listen, then that's all you need. And that's when I began to realize that, angels for me are there for us when we need them, but we are also angels ourselves for times when other people need us to be. And actually looking at inside of ourselves and asking ourselves, well, when can we be that angel? When can we be that person that somebody needs? And it might be just for a small thing, or it might be much deeper, and they might need much more support and they might need you for much longer. But when you're that angel for them, the reward for you is enormous because it touches a heart, it touches a life, and it touches a person in a way that no other can. And you've reached in deeper, and you didn't need to know all their history, and you didn't need to know all their story, but they've just allowed you to reach in. And it's like I began to feel like that we're here to hold each other's heart, but gently,
Mm.
and to let them talk softly, and to listen openly, and just to nurture and protect and to cherish. And the more that we do that, the more that we open ourselves to be able to do that, the more we find something happens inside of us. And even the pain that we may have been through and the things that we've hurt ourselves begin to get healed. And that's been really powerful for me. And I think, just going forward into the journey that I'm on now, which is, to be honest, it's come from almost nowhere. I was running a jewelry business, creating colours, been going for some time, and then it went into sort of hibernation in COVID, and it's coming out of hibernation, which is fantastic. But then I started running a business to do with weight loss because that's the journey I'd been on. But the more I was trying to solve that problem for people when they didn't actually recognize they had the problem I was trying to solve, the more frustrated I was getting
Yeah.
because it wasn't my heart passion, actually. And then what happened was people began to come to me who were struggling with their own businesses and who didn't know how to get out there. They didn't know how to speak about themselves. They didn't have the confidence. And that then began to change in me a realization that the message I was needing to hear was do what you're supposed to be doing. You know, answer your heart and don't feel guilty about a business that you probably shouldn't have been in the first place. Go and go and answer your heart. And that's been so fantastic. Just the joy that I've been experiencing in opening doors for other people and raising other people up, and just getting them out into the world is it's fantastic. I just love it.
Ah, that's absolutely brilliant. You know, and I love the way you kind of like angels sort of like came into your life. I always love hearing, you know, how people's stories of angels come in. And you know, any of you watching here, you know, if you want to share your story of angels, then feel free. And if you've got any questions you want to ask them, please do. And we've got Elaine here who said good evening to us both. Carla says hello. It's great to see you again, Carla. Jasmine says hello, Jasmine Maria. Carla loves that story. It was. And Sherry says hello. I mean, all the stories you've just told are, you know, absolutely amazing. And I love it when we do get those strangers from nowhere that just seem to do something, and then they're gone. It's yeah, it's just absolutely amazing. So obviously you were running your jewelry business, um, and then obviously we had all the lockdowns and everything. So how and then people obviously were started to come, you know, come and talk to you about their businesses. So how do you help them with their businesses or their struggles with their businesses?
So what I discovered through COVID, particularly, there was a massive increase in people obviously trying to set their own business online. You know, because obviously a lot of people had been face to face, coaches, therapists, and so on, and now suddenly there was this online virtual world. And a lot of people who are heart centered were going out there with an open, and this is what I did, by the way. You go out there with an open heart. You want to share your story. You want to help people, and you want to, um, just be there for the people who need you. And people needed you even more during COVID, but not necessarily having the technical skills or the know-how of how to grow business online. And I certainly didn't really know what I was doing. And like many of us, was um, taken in by those who came out here saying, "Oh, we'll show you. We know exactly what you need to do because we're going to put everything in place. We're going to get you the clients. We're going to show you how to sell your business. Blah blah blah. Just pay us, like £30,000. We'll be
Yeah,
fine. We'll do it. No problem."
yeah,
And
you'll get that back within a year, if
oh,
not
oh,
sooner.
if not 6 months, and particularly because you're going to get that money mindset. They're going to give you the thing, and you're going to claim that money, and it's going to come pouring in. Well, I was talking to people who weight loss, and weight loss is a big thing. Huge number of people
Yeah.
talk about it. So the message to me was a fantastic niche to be in. It's wonderful. You've got a different slant on it because it was all about emotional eating. And really, I wanted to believe them. I wanted to believe this was going to be a successful business. I wanted to believe that they knew what they were talking about because they sounded like they did. And I wasn't the only one who took it. I knew how many other people were signing up, and I even persuaded my husband to that this was the right move to make, and that's unusual because he's a much more. I'm quite let's take risks, let's move forward, let's decide. It feels right inside, so let's go for it kind of thing. And he's much more sort of let's go through the process, let's think, let's. And then I began to realize that actually, oh yeah, they could show you their six-figure mansions and their three cars and their holidays abroad and all the rest of it. They could show it you because they had taken all the money off all the people that had paid them so that they could buy what they needed to buy, but not because they had transformed lives or changed lives. And those people who came back and said, well, it's not working, I'm not getting the clients, what do I do? The message would be, well, you haven't done the work,
Hmm.
or it's your money mindset. You don't believe in yourself well enough. If you believed in yourself a bit more, then you'd be able to ask for the money. And this is so wrong. I know who I am. I don't have a doubt. I know I'm here. I know who I am. I know who I touch. And you've just taken me for a ride. And you took me when I was vulnerable. And
Hmm.
you used NLP is a wonderful thing, but not in the wrong hands. You've used language and emotions to bring me to a place by pretending to be something that you're not. So I started to call these people out and to go public and just to say, if you're like this, then you don't need to stay there. We need to take back where we should be. And I began to find that that message was resonating and landing with people I didn't even expect, and people were beginning to come towards me. And I began to realize that social media, which I used to hate, by the way, can be a wonderful thing if it's in the right hands and if it's used properly. And so that's what I do really now. I help people get the confidence back, but to actually be aligned with who they're, to change. So what I love doing most of all is helping people change that heart message into their voice of authority, and it means that it lasts and it stands, and they stand strong on it, and they're now strong enough to go forward in their business, searching, leading from their heart, and be confident that they can be a business woman or businessman by leading from your heart. And then you do that through collaboration and community, and by building a place which is safe, by building a place that we raise each other up. And our sole purpose is to raise each other up in a way that brings others who have a heart message to give into the world in a safe and secure place, knowing that by doing that, you never lose. You never lose because you build relationships, you build community, you strengthen other people, and your message goes further and wider and deeper, and you touch more hearts and more lives than you ever thought you might.
Yeah, that's beautiful. It's a wonderful thing to do, and and I love the way you called out, these people. Because yeah, and I think all of us, everyone who's watching this at some point, even the most practical, I am one of those. I will look into everything. I will do the numbers. I will do everything. But even I've sort of like fallen into that trap at some point in my life, because that's just the way it is. Although I look back at it as a lesson that I need to learn to know that there were people like that out there.
Yeah, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
that wouldn't actually do that. So you're doing this online business and that, but you've also now taken on a shop.
Yeah, crazy, isn't it?
It's like,
What's she doing?
where did that come from?
And where's the time come from? I don't know about that either. So, thing is, we had because we had this workshop back in our home, and the jewelry business had started up partly because my daughter was doing a business studies, GCSE, and she needed a bit of a hobby or something that she could sell. But it was me that actually ended up falling in love with what we were doing. And so the house, the biggest room in the house, became a workshop, and the smallest room became the lounge. And we were like squashed in there. But what I began to realise was that women particularly talk and share and are at peace when their hands are busy, when they're creating. And that creativity itself opens our brain up, it opens our mind up, it opens our spirit up, our soul up. It gets us to really share what's truly going on. And the colours that I began to build up within the house began also to work for people. They're very therapeutic. So we used to call it bead therapy. And then, one of our sons sadly was really drawn into a very abusive marriage. Had a little girl who was taken away from him, and he was told he'd never see her again if he didn't do what they were told him to do. So ended up with me living half the time in Exeter to help him, and half at the pool. And then, difficult to run the business that way. And then, of course, COVID happened and it went into storage. And all the beads and all the colour and all the creativity side of it just kind of went into boxes. And then we moved house to support him. Now we're in Devon, and there's no space in this house for a workshop. So literally had got to the point of thinking I'm going to have to auction these beads. And this is where I believe angels this is why I say angels in disguise, because there are times when something happens and it's again totally out of the blue, you're not looking for it. When I suddenly got this message from a lady, I didn't know this lady at all. Oh, I've heard that you've got beads. Can I look at them? And so she came to look at these beads, which I then, unpacked, sat in the middle of, and began talk. I say talking to them. I probably did actually. That's a bit crazy, but holding
I know what
them,
you mean.
touching them, feeling and just that whole kind of creativity sort of side of me came back to life again in a different way. And I thought, oh, I can't sell these. Why do I want to sell these? And then she starts telling me, you should have a shop. You should do this, that, and the other. I'm thinking, what, And then a shop became vacant in the village with an office above it, and we were paying for an office. So, and the shop is a little bit more expensive, but not much. So my husband, who is the one that waits, and he's like, "Oh, I'll tell you what, why don't we take this shop? We can do beads in this shop." And even then, I'm thinking, I'm not sure when you think I've got the hours to do this actually, unless I live down at the shop maybe. But it sort of took traction, and I thought, okay, well, it can't be open all the time, 'cause I'm not even here all the time. But now it's going to be creative jewelry, but also creative writing, creative women, and creative kids. So it's going to be the actual heart and center of the other business. And so we're actually running a live event there starting on Friday. So people are coming from Succeed from the Start to do their own first live workshop, and their own sort of live presentations and stuff in front of people that it might only be us there. It doesn't matter. It's an opportunity for them to grow in confidence and to touch each other's hearts, and give them a chance to sort of build something that they can take outside.
Yeah, oh, that's amazing. And Jasmine Maria says, totally agree. We should always be creative. I find I'm best doing the hobbies I enjoy. Really enjoy hearing your story, Angela.
Oh,
It
thank you.
it is, and it's amazing, sort of like how one business sort of like blends into the other business. You can bring both businesses together to create even more impact,
Yeah,
which again, you kind of like, if you look back on your life and look at through everything that's happened, you go, okay, yeah, I can see where this worked. Oh, that's where that person came in, and that person, um,
yeah, that's right.
came in. So it's absolutely amazing the way that's kind of like worked out for you. So the creative writing, where's that one come from?
So my husband actually, this is what's so exciting for me is my husband is a creative writer, has been an English teacher for a long time, and loved it, absolutely loved it. Got such a passion, would change children from being hating writing to wanting to take it A level, creative writing A level, and so on. And then not our friend, Mr. Gove, who I'm sure is not many people's friends at the moment, he changed everything, didn't he? So
Hmm.
he made school a place where English had to be, grammatically correct at the age of about, 3 or something ridiculous. And by the time these children were coming into Dirk's classes, they were so turned off. Their creativity had been really, stamped on. And he was finding some of them couldn't even read and certainly couldn't write well. And then he was being told he was head of English, so that was fine. But then he was told, no, 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 you can't do this, you can't do that. And he said, well, I can't lead a department telling them to do things I don't believe in. So he carried on teaching, being told that the teaching wouldn't get him through an Ofsted inspection. So he just said, do I still get the top results in the school? And they said yes. So he said,
Yeah.
sack me if you like. But so he just carried on teaching and helping the children, and now he's moved into adult education, which is a different ball game, but helping people who didn't pass exams at school and so on. So he's still doing that, but his heart is as a creative writer. He's just
Yeah.
started his second book, and he just wants to share that passion and what he would love nothing more. I mean, what he wants to do is help people to write their own book within a year, to do a sort of work through with them in workshops, and really take them from, so people who have got a book inside of them, like I think like we all have, but really no idea at all about what shape it will take. Is it a novel? Is it, you know, a life story? Anything. So he'll get them really looking at the different genre and understanding how they could use, like he said, somebody might love to write a science fiction novel, but they might want to write a love story in science fiction, or they might want to write a historical novel in science fiction. How does that work?
Oh
So
gosh,
he'll take
that'd
them,
be
I know.
amazing.
So yeah, he's going to take them on that journey, let them play, let them read to each other, let them explore it, and then get it published by the end of the year. So
Oh wow, that is absolutely amazing. So it's kind of like can only have sort of like your two businesses, but what your husband does as well. Again, just all blended into into kind of like separate energies, but one energy, which is from the heart.
yes, yeah,
Um,
definitely, and just, you know, letting other people speak from theirs, you know. And I mean, I'm going to be part of it because I absolutely love storytelling. So, you know, just, and again, I was told I didn't have any imagination at school, high school. No one was a bully, but the English teacher told me, you've got no imagination, you can't write, you've got no imagination. So that's completely like, okay, well, right then. Total rubbish, complete rubbish.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like there are some really good teachers out there, but there are some really bad teachers. And again, and there's lots of teachers that want to do good, but again, their hands are tied by Ofsted and all these different rules and stuff. And it's like children aren't allowed to be children. I mean, I
Yeah,
remember infant school and we are going back quite a few years here, it'd be like an even junior school. You do lessons in your morning, and the afternoon was play and fun.
yeah,
Creating things, or in my case, being allowed to go off and read because I love
yeah,
reading because that's my passion, reading. That has completely changed. And Nicola Jane, who's here, says hello, but she also said this is so strange. I need help to structure writing my first book. So it's not really strange, it's synchronicity.
yeah. That's
Um,
fantastic, Nicola. Nicola, that's I mean, definitely would love to put you in touch and have a chat with Dirk.
yeah,
But yeah, I mean, you know, that's why I don't believe, you know, that's why I say with angels, it's like, it isn't that, you know, person in a white dress on the nativity play at school. It's times and the places and the things that you need to hear, so, or the people you need to meet.
yeah, exactly. And that is the absolutely brilliant thing about angels and that. So, as we were talking about angels, as you know, I do guided meditations as well as reading angel oracle cards. And each week I like to ask my guests whether they would like me to do a mini guide meditation or pull an angel oracle card for themselves and those watching. So, Angela, what would you like me to do?
I think I'd go with a meditation, and that's literally because my world is very full at the moment of all the different things that are going on and getting this event running at the weekend. And I think it would just help me to ground myself in, you know, into the right space.
Okay, well, what we're going to do, we'll actually do a card to see where we're going with with the guided meditation, because I quite like doing that as well. So, Los Angeles, what you need to know. Oh, okay. Look, oh, that one decided it was going to jump out. Okay, so close your eyes, and everyone watching again, if you want to just close your eyes, take a deep breath in. And on the out breath, just release everything that doesn't need to be in this space. Take another deep breath in. And on the out breath, just release everything that doesn't need to be here. And just allow your breathing to fall into its natural rhythm. Every in breath relaxing you more and more. And every out breath, just releasing everything that doesn't need to be here. And just think about relaxing your whole body. Think about relaxing your whole body from the top of your head to the tips of your toes, all the way down your arms to your fingertips. But when you think about relaxing, so you will relax. Give yourself permission and allow yourself to relax. And as you do, just think about the top of your head relaxing and just feel it totally relaxing. And that relaxation moving down into the back of your head, down into your brow, down into your temples, down into your ears, down into your eyes and your eyelids, feeling so heavy and relaxed. As this relaxation moves down into your nose, your cheeks, your mouth and your jaw, down into your neck, relaxing all your neck muscles. As this relaxation moves down into your shoulders, and your shoulders feel so relaxed. It's like they're being bathed in beautiful warm sunshine, relaxing and warming. And just allow this relaxation to move down into your upper arms, your elbows, your lower arms, your wrists, your hands, and your fingers. And now let this relaxation move into your upper body as you feel all your chest muscles start to relax, all your stomach muscles, all the muscles in your back, your spine relaxing vertebrae by vertebrae. As this relaxation moves down into your hips, your pelvis, your buttocks, sinking you deeper down where you are sitting. As this relaxation moves down into your thighs, your knees, your shins, your calves, your ankles, your heels, your feet and your toes. And your whole body is just so relaxed. And I want you now to see, feel, imagine or know a beautiful staircase. A beautiful staircase with 5 steps leading down to a beautiful doorway. And in a moment, you're going to walk down these steps from 5 to 1, each descending number relaxing you more and more. So let's start walking down the stairs now. 5, deeper down the stairs. 4, deeper down the stairs. 3, more and more relaxed. Deeper down the stairs. 2, all the way down the stairs. 1, and you take a step off that bottom staircase and stand in front of this door. And I want you now to open this door, and as you open this door, beautiful golden light pours through. And you step through the door into a beautiful garden of the most wonderful flowers, the colours, the smells, a beautiful blue sky and a bright sunshine, just sending golden light everywhere. And it feels so calm, so peaceful, so relaxing in this garden with the smell and the colour of these exquisite flowers. And you can see birds, butterflies, insects. Maybe you can hear a little pond or a waterfall or a water feature within the garden. And you walk towards this sound of water, feeling so relaxed. And you get to this source of this water, whether it's a pool, a fountain, and next to it is a beautiful oak tree. It's giving a beautiful shade. And you step under this tree and you feel its magnificent, its wisdom, its energy. And you may just run your hands through the water. You may drink the water, or you may just splash the water on yourself, just feeling its coolness, giving you clarity and clearance as it touches your skin. And you get the wisdom and the sense from this tree. It's really grounding you into Gaia, into Earth. And as you look in the pool, you notice that there seems to be an image in there. It's an image of what you should be doing, what you should be doing now, how you should be helping people. And you can hear a bird, and the bird seems to be telling you, answer the call, answer the call. The time is now. The time is now. Do what you're supposed to do. Be the light you are supposed to be. Answer the call. Just answer the call. And I'll leave you for a moment just to look in this water and get a sense of what it is you're supposed to be doing now to answer that call. With this image, you may get words or colours, or you may just know what it is that you're meant to be doing, answering that call because the time is now. And as that image, those thoughts, that knowing move into your body, it's being grounded, grounded deep within inside, deep within Gaia, taking root, ready to grow and expand. And now you've got that sense, that knowing. You thank the water, you thank the tree, you thank that bird, and you feel so alive, so connected, so knowing what you need to do now. And you start walking back towards your doorway. And before you know it, you are back at your door. And you step through your door and find yourself at the bottom of your staircase. And in a moment, you're going to walk up those stairs from 1 to 5, each ascending number bringing you back into the present, into the here and now, remembering your whole experience, knowing what you need to do now to answer that call. So start walking up the stairs now, 1, coming further up the stairs, 2, further up the stairs, 3, remembering everything, further up the stairs, 4, all the way to the top of the stairs, 5. Wiggle fingers and toes, move your body, bring yourself fully back, fully present. And when you're ready, just open your eyes. And if you need to, drink some water if you've got it by the side of you. And whilst everyone's coming back, Nicola Jane Lee said, it's amazing. I believe in these spiritual happenings, but something like this hasn't happened to me for quite some time. Any help from you all would be gratefully received. Well, I'm hoping, Nicola, Jane Lee, that guided meditation helped you, and that if you contact Dirk, you can get creative with your writing. So are you back, Angela?
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that was lovely.
That you're welcome. Did it make sense? And did you ground?
Yeah, it made absolute sense. It reminded me of the thing that started me off on the journey that I'm on, which was just that saying, you remember you were born for such a time as this. And it's that kind of excitement that, because there's quite a lot of things to do, and it can crowd in on you sometimes when you've got things to do, lots of things to do, and you can think, why am I doing that now? Why am I stopping to do this now? And how am I going to get it all done? But yeah, just knowing that it's going to get done. It's going to be there. It's going to be finished. And the people that gathering um, are gathering for a reason. So
Absolutely. And Nicola Janey says the guided meditation was wonderful. Thank you so much. Oh, you're welcome, Nicola Janey. And if anyone wants to share, in the comments, how your guided meditation went, what your journey is, what your purpose is, how are you going to answer that call? Then please feel free to put in the comments, because when you share it, it kind of like cements it into the here and now, and it means you've got no excuse because you've now put it out there in the public, and it's like, yep, this is what I'm doing now, in this particular time. So how was yours, Angela? What was your answer in the call?
for me, answering the call is it's creating the rainbow for people to live in. The Something that somebody said to me, and it just literally came back, and it was just they loved being in the presence, in our workshop, in our space, because they felt like they were living in a rainbow. And that's been kind of whispering and whispering. But I feel like I'm just to answer that call is to create that space where people can feel that they are, and actually it's a rainbow that's like a waterfall.
Yes.
It's a waterfall of rainbows, if that makes sense. Um,
Absolutely. And I love rainbows. you know they're one of my favorite things. So Angela, do you have any insights or thoughts to leave our viewers with?
I just would literally say to you that for all of us, that nothing ever happens by chance or an accident, and that as long as we're open and our hearts are kept open, even if we've been hurt, and it's hard to keep your heart open when you've been hurt, but even if you've been hurt, don't stay there. Keep your heart open and find the right person to share that pain with, so that your heart can be nurtured. Because once your heart is open, and healed, if you like, then you become able to move forward into what you really called to be, and into the life you're always meant to have. People will try and rob you of it, but it's just allowing your heart to break through, and
Perfect.
claiming that space.
Absolutely brilliant words. And Nicola Jane Lee, I saw an open book, open in the middle with all the pages ready for me to fill in. Beautiful. So, yeah, get that writing going. And Jasmine Maria said, so relaxing. I'm due to start my yoga business very soon and thinking about going into it with an open heart as ease my nerves. Thank you. My call is to do what I love to do. Absolutely perfect. Um, and Carla fell asleep as soon as the story of the angel man came to help with the broken car, so she doesn't know what happened. But that's brilliant, Carla. So just watch back, and join in the guided meditation, with us. But I have to say, Angela, you have got such a relaxing voice. When you talk, it's kind of like I was kind of like, oh wow, I just love listening to your voice. It was just, oh. God, yeah, it was amazing. I was kind of like, um, yeah, uh, sort of like if I wasn't running the show, I probably would have been going off. Elaine says, "Thank you, Ray and Angela, for a lovely evening." Ah, you're welcome, Elaine, and thank you to everyone who's actually watched and has joined and commented. So I hope everyone that you have enjoyed this conversation and found it insightful, because I know I definitely have. So, Angela, if people want to connect with you, how do they do that?
So they can come to my obviously Facebook page. I'm on Facebook as Angela Roth, but I'm also there as Creating Colour has its own page and the website, and then also Succeed from the Start. And just for any of you that are, I think it's like, is it Jasmine? We
Mm,
have a group called Success Builders, and it might sound like that's a bit kind of businessy, but it's all about collaborative, heart-centered growth. So again, I'm not even sure if I've given you that link, Ray, but that's a place to come if you want to connect with other people who are there to change the world through their heart message. You're very
beautiful.
welcome.
Beautiful. And it is collaboration. I've said since the beginning of this year, it is, it's a year of collaboration. If you want to thrive, you need to collaborate with people. You can't do it all by yourself. That time's gone now. Um, for that. So, and what I'll do is I'll put all the links in the comments after the show, so that you can just click on them to go straight to connect with Angela. And of course, if you are watching this on the replay, do feel free to share your comments with what happened. And Jasmine says, "Thank you. I'll definitely join."
Brilliant,
Um,
brilliant.
so yeah, I'll definitely get that link put on there as well. And of course, if you have reached a crossroads in your life and you need some guidance in stepping onto your spiritual path and getting clear on your journey and how to get there, then I would love to be that guide for you. So please feel free to reach out and connect with me, and we can arrange a free video clarity call to discuss where you are now and how you can move forward to take charge of your destiny. And of course, please feel free to sign up to my weekly newsletter and receive a free future life progression recording, where I take you into a future lifetime to get guidance and clarity that you can use in your current life, as well as a couple of other little free gifts for you. And again, thank you everyone so much for watching. And I'd like to invite you to share this video, as I'm sure there are more women who feel lost and want to get clear on their destiny, just like you. And of course, if you are watching this on YouTube, then please feel free to subscribe. Every subscription helps. Hit that bell button to be notified when the show goes live, or I post the new guided meditations so you don't miss them at all. And again, thank you, Angela, for joining in the show today. Carla says that was very soothing, peace and loving grace. Thank you. And yeah, thank you to everyone. And I look forward to you all joining me, same time, same place next week. Oh, and don't forget this Wednesday, I'll be going live with Graham Williamson and we're doing our Angels and Spirits show if you want a reading from the angels and spirits. So do join us then. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.